Hey keyboard nerds, hope you're doing well. I want to share some secrets with you on how to improvise on a simple chord progression with only 3 chords. Sometimes these are the hardest ones to play over. All of the blues licks and all of the chops, often don't work when you're being asked to play on a simple 3-chord country, pop, rock, southern rock, or Americana song. I'm going to take the example of John Prine's Angel from Montgomery, a classic, beautiful, iconic song. The chorus only has 3 chords. The chords are C, B flat, and F, in the key that I'm doing it in anyway. You can, of course, move that around. But I'm going to do it in C, B flat, and F. Now the trick is, when you're playing this instrument, the Hammond, is what can we play that's interesting, but at the same time doesn't take away from the vocalist, doesn't take away from the lyric, doesn't step on things, but just is supportive and enhances the song. So I'm going to show you a few tricks that I hope are useful to you. And a lot of these tricks I'm bringing in from country piano and transferring onto the organ, which a lot of musicians have done, and you hear that a lot in Nashville and a lot of the records. They're bringing in elements of country piano and transferring them onto the organ, which is super cool. So, if I was playing Angel from Montgomery, the chords are C, B flat, F. We know the melody to this is, if you don't know the song, is beautiful song. I'm not going to sing it for you. I'm going to save you that torture. Anyway, here's some tricks you can try. So, the first thing I'm going to show you is the suspended 2nd chord, also known as a sus2 chord. Incredibly useful when you just want to make a little passing chord, a little move that just says, hey, I'm here, I'm doing something musical underneath the singer that's not just holding the chords. And it can look like this. Here's a C chord. Here's a C sus2. So you're just dropping the E down to a D or the 3 down to a 2. If I was to go to B flat, here's B flat sus2. F, F sus2, C. Check this out. So I'm going to go 1 beat on C major, 1 beat on C sus2. See how that sounds. That just got a whole lot more interesting, didn't it? So as soon as if you like that type of thing and you want to incorporate it, the very first thing you should do is try to put it through every inversion of those chords. So for instance, in C, you've got 3 inversions of C major. One is here, C primary inversion, C first inversion, and C second inversion. So I'm going to just try that move through all of those inversions. Move to the next one. Drop the E down to a 2 or the 3 down to a 2. Now remember when I say I'm dropping the 3 down to the 2, that means the 3 of the C major scale. 1, 2, 3, 2. So no matter what inversion I am, the 3rd is always E. Because when I'm referring to numbers, I'm referring to the C major scale. Now, I'm going to try to put a bunch of those together, and I'm going to move through some different inversions, because when you're playing, you're not always just playing in primary inversion all the time. You're using different inversions all the time to try to stay close, to try to sound musical, so it doesn't sound like it's jumping around a lot, and a lot of times you're also using inversions to follow the vocalist. So here we go. Stuff. I'm going to show you a nice little moving lick, actually a couple of different moving licks that you can do that's kind of uses the sus2 as well. So if I was to take, say, this inversion of C, which is the second inversion, and take the top 3 notes, there's your 3, 2, 1. So we basically have a C major, C sus2, and then I'm going to go here. So the move sounds like this. So I'm doing that on a C chord, E flat, F. So you got your 3, 2, 1 of C. 3, 2, 1 of B flat, or 3, 2, 1 of F. Sounds really cool, right? And you can also reverse that and do it like this. I find that if you hold the first 2 notes down when you're doing that, it sounds really, really, really good. So you've got 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3 of C, 1, 2, 3 of B flat, 1, 2, 3 of F. Boom. Okay, so let's incorporate all of these things together. I'm going to do some licks, or I'm going to use the major chord to the sus2 thing that I showed you. Then I'm going to incorporate some of these moving lines too. I'm going to use inversions and see how this all sounds together. Here we go. Pretty simple stuff, but incredibly effective. Now, we can't talk about doing these types of tunes without talking about Floyd Cramer. Floyd Cramer was a session player from Nashville. They called him the architect of slip note piano playing. He created a style where he was slipping from often the 2 to the 3, which I'll show you in one sec here. And he revolutionized this thing, and it became part of classic rock and country in a really, really big way. I mean, you can't listen to a Rolling Stones record or a Led Zeppelin record or any country record without hearing Floyd's style in it. And it's actually something really simple, and we call it the Floyd lick. And basically, you're landing on a major chord, but you're landing on it this way. You're coming at it this way. So you're going from the second note, or the sus2 note, and you're slipping to the third note. But the D hits first, and then the E. So now we're going to put the whole chord in there with the D hitting first. It's a bit hard to master. Frankly, it took me quite a while to get this under my hands, but once you've got it, it's such a great, great tool. You can just use it in so many places. That's the Floyd lick. So, let's try to put some of this all together and put the Floyd lick in there, shall we? Here we go. As we're on the topic of country piano, sort of country moves, why don't we add a walk down in there? And you'll find, I think somewhere on YouTube, I have a video on country walk-ups and walk downs, which really gets into detail on this. But here's the basic how it works. We're going to do a walk down from F to C. We've all heard that sound before, right? Here's how it works. We're basically just following the bass line. You hear bass players a lot walk down from a 4 chord to a 1 chord or an F chord to a C like this. And all we're trying to do is mimic that in our right hand chord. So we start on an F chord, and when we go to the next chord, we drop down to an E, G, and a C, a D, F, and a C, and then a C chord. Notice how I ended on a Floyd Kramer lick. The cool thing about this is your pinky finger is sort of staying static on the C at the top. Gives it a really cool sound. And you know, when you hear piano players do this, they'll often go do stuff like this. Let's put all of this together. Here we go. There it is. And you notice sometimes those walk-ups, I won't always end them on the primary version. I'll come down and go. Still a C chord, still works just as well. Now, before we go, just to give you something a little extra, I'm going to show you a C major pentatonic scale. I know that a lot of you already know this. This one is C, D, E, G, A, C, or from a C scale, you could think of it in numbers like a 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1. It's called a pentatonic scale because there's 5 notes in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And extremely useful for this kind of stuff. You know, you could use it all over this type of progression. I'm being pretty simple with it and just kind of playing up and down scales, but there's a few really cool licks you can do off of this one. One classic country lick is that's a great one. You just slide up to a C. You can hold this over the whole progression. C, F, those are all notes of the C major pentatonic. Except for this one, you're sliding off of this for effect. Here's another one. This one's great. You slide off of you start on the C and you go slide here, slide here. Beautiful little lead lines that you can play on the organ and really work well in verses. If you ever have what they call a fill verse in country music, they'll often say, you take the fill verse and you take the fills in verse 2, and that could be like the fiddle or the guitar or the piano or the organ. And these little lines work great around vocals. So let's try to put all of this together now. Here we go. There you go. There's a little 101 on how to get around on a simple 3-chord country or Americana song. Hope you enjoyed that, and if you like that type of stuff, check out my online course. There's just tons and tons of material regarding this type of subject with backing tracks, notation, and all of that stuff. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. Hope you have a great day. Chat soon.